Hello, bruvs. We're back with new book arrivals. And these are part of my 9-day vacation where I plan to buy 200 books, between 100 and 200. As you can see, I had a very successful first day. Didn't really try hard, but I went to a thrift store where there was quite a few books that I got, which was quite exciting for me, bruvs. Let's see where we are. I believe this is number 291. Let's see. I also went to an estate sale and I found some pretty good stuff. But not many. Most of them were. I think I got 5 or 6 books there. I got a whole 2 bags of shit for $9 at the estate sale, 60% off. So I was happy about that. Let's see what we got as far as book numbers go. Come on. I know it's tough, buddy. Anyways, let's start. We'll wait for this for one more second. We'll start with a 1935 book. At least that's when the last copyright is, of Little Black Sambo. See what the book number is. New book arrivals number 291. As I said, the last copyright is 1935, but that may be wrong, although I don't know. It's hard to tell. Looks more like 40s or 50s to me, but I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. It's not in great shape, but it was only, what did I pay for everything? $10, $9, so $1 or $2 at the most. Little Black Sambo and the Tiger Kitten. Kitten. 2 words, kitten. Import ant. If you import an ant, you're import ant. So, new book arrivals number 291. Control, copy. So there's book number 1. Let's see how many we got here. 1, 2, 3. This isn't really a book. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 books, bruv. The second book is A Ritual of Job's Daughters, which I found out is basically the children of Grand Masons can be in this group. So you have to have a relative that is a Grand Mason, otherwise you aren't getting in, apparently. And you can be, from the age of 10 to 20, you can be a Job's daughter. Daughters is. This is a 1964 copy. Smells like a basement. Pretty musty, but once I put it on my sun porch out there, I will have a nice book that I can either sell or keep. The Lays of Ancient Rome. What's up, Rob? By Thomas Babington Hawley, with an introduction by Donald G. Mitchell. I believe it's from 1885. Says 1885, Rand Aubrey and Company, but I don't know. I don't know who Macaulay is. Obviously, it's poems and something, but it's a fairly old book. Obviously, 100 some years old, 140 years old. Though the copyright may be misleading. What did I say? 33 books. This is not a book, but it's pretty interesting. It's the the funeral book of. It's a funeral home from Portland, Indiana, and it is the services for. What's that say? Graveside service, 10 a.m. Monday, Gravel Hill Cemetery. What year is this? 1984. Is that what that says? Looks like it for... Who is it for? Father John Bailey, Estelle Sibberly. What the hell is it for? Stanley and Donald? It can't be for two people, right? Or can it? Anyways, this is the kind of book they give you, and then you just... Everyone signs their names. Hey, I was here, buddy. I was here when you were dead. Oh, here it is. In memory of Sarah Evanly Mankel. Is that what that says? Is that what it said in that other book, Mankel? No, it was Marion Tyler. Let's see if we can find her. Gravel. What is it? Gravel Hill Cemetery? Let's see if I can find this. Gravel Hill Cemetery. Cemetery. Find a grave. Sarah Evelyn Menkel. Gravel Hill Cemetery in Cheshire Township, Ohio. No, this is Indiana. There's multiple Gravel Hill cemeteries, apparently. Where is Gravel Hill in Indiana? There it is. In Bryant J. County. Sonic Home. Alright, let's see. Oh, it's this family search. What the fuck is this family search for? I want to find the grave, bastard. Give me the right one. Gravel Hill Cemetery, Indiana. Don't deny me. Gravel Hill Cemetery in Jackson Township. Is that what it says? Indiana. There can't be two. Or can there? No, there is. Bryant J. This is a different... No, this is J County. See if there's a Sarah Menkel. Sarah... And she died in... She was born in 1904. Let's see if she's in here. Save this cemetery. Search this cemetery, pardon. Sarah Evelyn Menkel. Come on. There she... Oh, it's Markle. Sure looks like it says Mankel, doesn't it? Sure does say Mankel. It's no R. So she died in March 17th, 1984. Yeah, that's her. She was 80 years old, obviously. Graveside service, 10 a.m. Monday. 23rd Psalm. I don't know how much this booklet cost for the service. Father John Bailey, married to Ralph Markle, even though it says Mankel. Children, oh, I see, Marion Tyler. She was the person's estate that I went to. So this was her mother. Doesn't really say much about her, but see if it shows children. Siblings. All right, it didn't show children. Not that this is part of the book, but I thought it was pretty cool. Got it. Now I got it. The true crime book's coming up in broad daylight. Harry McLean, A Murder in Skidmore, Missouri. Or Missouri, as they call it. There she is, Alice Wood, at Ken's gravesite in St. Joseph. There's the children. Sons of bitches. Sons of bitches. Ooh, there's eyes there. I didn't even see the eyes. They flash like lightning. Ken McElroy had robbed, raped, burned, shot, and maimed the citizens of Skidmore. All of them? Without conscience or remorse. Again and again, the law had failed to stop him. On July 10th, 1981, Ken McElroy was shot to death on the main street of this small farming community. 45 people watched. No indictments were ever issued, no trial held. And the town of Skidmore has protected the killers with silence to this day. Now, this powerful true life account details what drove normal American citizens to murder. Good people. Very good people. And here's the other true crimer. I think that's the only two I have. The House of Gucci, a sensational story of murder, madness, glamour. I thought it said glamour. Glamour and greed. Sarah Gay Forden. All these people have that middle name, Gay. Did Patricia Reggiani murder her ex-husband Maurizio Gucci in 1995 because his spending was wildly out of control? Did she do it because her glamorous ex was preparing to marry his mistress, Paola Franchi? Or is there a possibility she didn't do it at all? In this gripping account of the ascent, eventual collapse, and resurrection of the Gucci dynasty, Sarah Gay Forden takes us behind the scenes of the trial and exposes the passions, the power, and the vulnerabilities of the greatest fashion family of all time. Wonderful. All right. Joseph Campbell, the hero with 1,000 faces. This is a pretty popular writer of mythology. I think he had numerous books on mythology. This says 73, but I know that's not right. It's got to be the 90s. What's this? What is it? Oh, that's right. Some ladies. She bought it. Donna Billings. She paid for it. I got it for 49 cents. So thanks, Donna. Proud of you. I should drive to her house. Donna, did you lose your book? No, I donated it, bruv. I said, all right, watch my channel. Baby. Or is that too strong? Anyway, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, often cited as Joseph Campbell's best book. This classic study traces the story of the hero's journey and transformation through virtually all the mythologies of the world, revealing the one archetypal hero in them all. These books will go to my mother. Flames After... Oh, this one will too. Flames After Midnight. Murder, Vengeance, and the Desolation of a Texas Community. So when I go to the thrift stores by my mother's, she goes with me and I get the discount for these. So that's nice. First, please give the audience a brief outline. So I got, what, 20 books for... I believe $8. So what's that? 40 a piece? 40 cents. I'm gonna look this one up, see if it's got any value. eBay. Flames After Midnight. Murder, Vengeance, and the Desolation of a Texas Community. What happened in Kerwin, Texas in May 1922 has been forgotten by the outside world. It was a co-worker's whispered words. Kerwin is where they burned the Negroes that set Monty Akers to work at discovering the true story behind a young white woman's brutal murder and the burning alive of 3 black men who were almost certainly innocent of it. This was followed by a month-long reign of terror as white men killed blacks while local authorities concealed the real identity of the white probable murderers and allowed them to go free. You know, a lot of people always say this, that most of these people are innocent. I'm not talking about blacks in general. I'm just talking about murders. But a lot of these, I think, are just stories. I'm not saying this one is because I know nothing about it, but I've seen hundreds of newspaper articles about the wrong person being charged with murder. But I'm not convinced that they were not. As I said, I don't know anything about this book, but see if it's worth anything. Where 3 Negroes were burned on the, I don't know what that says, $113. That'd be great if it was worth that much. Be like, Mom, you're not getting this book. No, this one, buddy. Flames After Midnight. She always claims she doesn't smoke when she reads my books, but I know she does. It's worth about $9 or $10. But she'll get that book. Still Life with Woodpecker. And I only got this because it was, look at that fucking mustache. The gravest error of this age of lip rings and fucking nose rings and multicolored hair and tattoos is the fucking resurgence of the mustache. We thought it died in the 70s. I mean, you think about almost every dictator had a mustache. I guess Mao didn't, but like all the most ruthless dictators always had mustaches. I just don't understand why dudes are growing mustaches. It's one thing if you're just letting your beard grow and you have a stash included in the package, but god damn, the stash on its own usually looks really bad unless you're like a black dude. Or, I mean, even old guys it looks bad on. But this guy, I don't know how bad he looks without a stash, but there's a lot of people who look normal and still have a stash. Bad look. I don't know anything about Still Life with Woodpeckers, so I read like part of the prologue and it seemed like a kind of Tom Wolfish book. Prologue. If this typewriter can't do it, then fuck it. It can't be done. This is the all-new Remington SL3, the machine that answers the question, which is harder, trying to read the brothers Karamazov while listening to Stevie Wonder records or hunting for Easter eggs on a typewriter keyboard. This is the cherry on top of the cowgirl, the beggar served by the genius waitress, the Empress card. I sense that the novel of my dreams is in the Remington SL3, although it writes much faster than I can spell. And no matter that my typing finger was pinched last week by a giant land crab, this baby speaks electric Shakespeare at the slightest provocation and will rap out a page and a half if you just look at it hard. What are you looking for in a typewriter? The salesman asked. Something more than words, I replied. Crystals. I want to send my readers armloads of crystals, some of which are the colors of orchids and peonies, some of which pick up radio signals from a secret city that is half Paris and half Coney Island. He recommended the Remington SL3. I might as well read the rest of the prologue. My old typewriter was named Olivetti. I know an extraordinary juggler named Olivetti, no relation. There is, however, a similarity between juggling and composing on the typewriter. The trick is, when you spill something, make it look like part of the act. I have in my cupboard, under lock and key, the last bottle of Anne. How do you say her name? Anais? I think it's Annius. Nin, green label, to be smuggled out of the Punta del Visionario before the revolution. Tonight I'll pull the cork. I'll inject 10 cc into a ripe lime, the way the natives do. I'll suck and begin. If this typewriter can't do it, I'll swear it can't be done. All right, Bob. Still don't know what it's about. It says a sort of a love story that takes place inside the pack of Camel cigarettes. It reveals the purpose of the moon, explains the difference between criminals and outlaws, examines the conflict between social activism and romantic individualism, and paints a portrait of contemporary society that includes powerful Arabs, exiled royalty, and pregnant cheerleaders. It also deals with the problem of redheads. All right, what about fucking mustaches, you son of a bitch? All right. That actually didn't sound too bad. U.S. Army Special Forces only. I don't know if this is an actual Army manual, but if it is, it's fucking brilliant. It just teaches you how to do fucking karate, taekwondo. Fucking year is this? It's got 28307, so it's got to be 70s, 80s ish. Is there really a A manual for the special forces where you just learn karate? I guess you would if you're in special forces. You're sent to kill. I don't know how much this is worth. Hand-to-hand fighting. U.S. Army. As you see, I only get certain books. I could have grabbed 200 books today alone, but I'm not buying Gilead by, what's her name, Marilyn Robinson, just because it won the Pulitzer. It's probably worth 30 cents on eBay. Hand-to-hand fighting by the U.S. Army. See what they got. There's combatives. There it is, 16 bucks sold. I'll probably sell this then. If I get 10 bucks for this, that'll pay for almost the whole stack of books. Sounds good, buddy. Blood on the water. The Great Lakes during the Civil War. And when I read the back of this, I did not realize all during the later part of the Civil War, the Great Lakes states were under continuous secret attack by the Confederacy. Intrigue, conspiracy, and plotting were thick and furious as the South desperately, or should I read it in a Southern accent? Intrigue, conspiracy, and plotting were thick. I can't even do it. From scheming, springing full-blown insurrections in Chicago, attacking port cities with armed steamers, destroying vital. How the fuck did they get up the waterway? Didn't the North have a block? I thought that's where the North was the strongest, on the waterways, and that's why they won. How the fuck did they get up the Hudson into the Great Lakes? Blood on the Water is a fascinating look at what could have happened if Confederate plans weren't foiled by Union agents or collapsing through Southern ineptitude. I'm pretty sure the South just fucking ran out of money and soldiers. I offered me mother $10,000 if she could name this painting. Maybe I'll put this on the front of I'll put this on the next post I do. You can tell who that painting is by. It's a self-portrait of an artist, and very good artist at the W. Somerset Maugham, Collected Short Stories, Volume 3. The short story was Maugham's true métier, and some of the stories he wrote are among the best in the language. I was just saying yesterday that nobody cared about short stories. Maybe I will, the Hairless Mexican, maybe I will read one or two of these, but I will put that aside to do a thing. Mary Elizabeth Braddon, Lady Audley's Secret, with a new introduction by Norman Donaldson. This is a great cover. I know that the most of the Dover reproductions are not worth much, but they always put interesting covers on, and that's a really good cover. I don't know what it's from. Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. If I could plot like Miss Braddon, said Thackeray, I should be the greatest novelist that ever lived. Barzoon and Taylor commented that Lady Audley's Secret contains much mystery and more detection than is found in many a modern thriller. Critics and writers from Stevenson to Anthony Boucher have praised and recommended the writer and her best-known work. Miss Braddon, 1837 to 1915, led a strong life of her own in the face of a harsh social code, and was recognized as a major figure among Victorian writers. With Wilkie Collins, Charles Reade, and Mrs. Henry Wood, she was one of the sensation novelists. That convinces me to keep this one as a reader. Love that cover. Wonder what the art is. It's a great cover. Great cover, bruv. Hey, look, she signed it. The Dover edition first published. What is the artwork, you fucker? I don't know. A rare treat is in store for any reader who encounters Lady Audley's Secret for the first time. Definitely reading that one on this channel some year. A darkened house, cholera in 19th century Canada. This is one of my favorite finds, even though it's marked up with highlighting and some underlining. I don't care. That's a fucking great topic. A darkened house. From its first appearance in 1832, the last scares of 1871, cholera aroused fear in British North America. The disease killed 20,000 people, and its psychological effects were enormous. Cholera unsettled governments, undermined the medical profession, exposed inadequacies in public health, and widened the division between rich and poor. In a fascinating and disturbing book, Geoffrey Biddleson traces the story of the cholera epidemics as they ravaged the Canadas. How many Canadas are there? And the Atlantic colonies. How many fucking Canadas are there? Is that the next conspiracy? There's multiple Canadas. That's a great book. A Darkened House. This one I found at the estate sale as well. Saints and Strangers, being the lives of the pilgrim fathers and their families, with their friends and foes. And then one of the first pages I went to because of this, I thought it was a card. It mentions the undertakers. And death is always a good thing to read about. So I don't know if this is what they would undertake to go only. I wonder if this just means undertaking, or does this mean digging graves? Doesn't seem like it's grave digging. Seems like it is people who undertook pilgrimage. Yeah, I'm going to say it's not undertakers. It'd be nice if it was undertakers. Babes in the Wilderness. Here's this book. 1945. 80 years old. Not bad. It's got its jacket too. Maine's Hunting Past. And I'm hoping that there's what's that resort called that Laura Mundo worked at when she was Laura Marxer. Most of you probably don't know who Laura Marxer is, but she was a UFO nut, basically. And she came from Maine and moved to Michigan. So I happened to find one of her books one day at a estate sale. Just some of the fucking craziest shit you've ever read in your life. She mentioned going on spaceships and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, she was from Maine, so I always pick up books from Maine. Just because eventually I'm going to read her autobiography, which is rather rare. I will read it on this channel at some point. Color Your World by Frank Don. Two men. One man with two first fucking names, Frank and Don. Color Your World. Color plays an important role in our lives from birth. A knowledge of the meaning of colors can help everyone become a master artist in the art of living, although we constantly use color to both express and accent our lives. The nature and meaning of color remains one of the world's great mysteries. Well, luckily I am colorblind, so what is all this bullshit? John Smith Doe. Wait, numbers align with colors? Are you fucking serious? What kind of geometry and bullshit is this? I didn't even look inside the book. I just saw it and grabbed it. 49 cents. This is basically a horoscope with colors. Hell yeah. I saw that none of these books had sold on eBay, but they were selling for quite a bit. For no reason. Color Your World, bruv. And before I was leaving that thrift store, I found 2 dream books, so that adds to my collection of 50 or 60 that I'll never read. I don't know who this person was, but they highlighted a bunch of these books, which is fortunate and unfortunate, because had they not got rid of them, I would not have them. Introducing stage 2, something new from the dream. If you practice what we have taken up so far, you will be able to know with bodily sureness what most of your dreams are about. You will often be able to help other people know what their dreams are about. Just that much is very exciting to be able to do. I call it stage 1. Breakthrough. Oh, someone took a fucking bite out of that corner. Dreams are often comments on the momentary condition of a situation. Female message dream. Someone led me to the edge of a lake. Out of it came a woman who was also me. I was told that I would be female so I could be with him, her husband. Could any sign be more definite? The dream says the trouble has been her incomplete femininity, and now it will fully arise and make their marriage possible. Obviously, she should stay, but don't conclude that so quickly. I didn't. I think you fucking concluded it that quickly. I had no idea what this crazy bitch was talking about. Lawrence Stern, A Sentimental Journey. I don't know anything about Stern, but I believe he is also another one of these Victorian writers. Let's see what it says. Got a nude lady on there. You can't go wrong with that. When Yorick, the roving narrator of Stern's innovative final novel, sets off for France, on a whim, he produces no ordinary travelogue, jolting along in his coach from Calais through Paris and on towards the Italian border. The amiable parson is blithely unconcerned by famous views or monuments, but he engages us with tales of his encounters with all manner of people, from counts and noblewomen to beggars and chambermaids. And as drama piles up drama, anecdote, flirtation, and digression, Yorick's destination takes second place to an exhilarating voyage of emotional and erotic exploration. This book, I believe I already have, but when I lie-bibbed it, it said I didn't, but why is this guy kissing this dude almost? David Edmonds and John Eidenauer are award-winning journalists with the BBC. This book, their first, has been translated in more than a dozen languages. Engrossing. On October 25th, 1946, in a crowded room in Cambridge, England, the great 20th century philosophers Ludwig Wittgenstein and Karl Popper came face to face for the first and only time. The meeting, which lasted 10 minutes, did not go well. Their loud and aggressive confrontation became the stuff of instant legend, but precisely what happened during that brief confrontation remained for decades the subject of intense disagreement. I didn't know it was about that. Wittgenstein's Poker, the story of a 10-minute argument between two great philosophers. Aladdin and the Arabian Nights. Obviously, it's a Barnes & Noble book, although it doesn't show it. Gilded Edges, which are always nice. The big old bookmark in there. $1 for this book, Barnes & Noble. It's funny, too, because who did I just see that mentioned that this is one of the books all kids should read? Obviously, I'm not a kid. I'm a champ, but not a kid. The 7 Voyages of Sinbad the Sailor. Is this what Andy Partridge was talking about? 1,000 Arabian Nights or millions of Arabian Nights. In the Garden of Delight. Earthly Delights. Open Sesame, bruv. The Biltmore Estate. I passed on this book last week because I was just like, the fuck am I going to do with it? But this goes along with heiresses and all that bullshit. I believe the Vanderbilts built it, right? Look at that place. That's fucking incredible. It's incredible, bruv. More incredible that they built it in 1894. Look, it's a little ship, bruv. Cornelia Vanderbilt. That nose on her. That's stylish. He looks like a fucking dweeb, but she looks rather handsome in her. Look at that hair. Look at that fucking stash. Come on, man. Wear a hat or something. Very stylish woman. There's another stash. At least he's got some fucking hair. There you go. At least if you're going to wear a stash, wear a dashing outfit. What do you think, Brubs? What do you think? Alright, so I'm glad I got it. I've got a little something on that. The Biltmore Pickett's charge. Eyewitness accounts. And I picked this up because I'm thinking, since obviously just about every state was involved in the war, in different battles, so there's probably something about Michigan in here. I would assume there is because this was alongside another book which was about Michigan in the Civil War, which I already covered on here. But we shall see. Not a big fan of the Civil War or any wars. Not against war, I just don't care about them. The intuitive and the conceptual narratives of belonging and race, Russia and rights. Telos. This sounds like some kind of Illuminati organization that writes about what they're going to do to you in the future. So I got them. There was 3 of them. Didn't see any more, but when I go back, no one else is ever going to buy these. So for 49 cents, it's not unity and solidarity and the politics of belonging, see? A way to transcend boundaries. Open your borders and let everybody in. So you can all be paupers. The Hedgehog review. I want to get on that. The fucking Hedgehog, bro. Judgment of Paris. The main reason why I got this because I already have a book by Ross King. I believe it's Ex Libris. But this looks interesting as well. The revolutionary decade that gave the world Impressionism. I may actually have this book. It seems familiar, but when I scanned the barcode on my LibBib, it did not say that I had it. But I guess this is art history and then history as well. Vaulting, the wild boar of the Batignolles. Mademoiselle Bertha. Self-portrait. Boobs. Liberty boobs. See, even the paintings of Liberty include boobs. Gotta get boobs, bravo. You got nothing. The Birth of Venus. Who's this? Olympia. That's Manet. The Siege of Paris. There he is. Le Bon Bach. Edouard Manet. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty good, bruv. There he is. Gustave Courbet. That looks like a painter. This guy looks like a writer. Oh, that's Whistler. Whistler. Alright. Another art book. What we got now? The Way of Zen by Ellen Watts. Obviously, you know what Zen is. The philosophy of Tao. And you also know who Alan Watts is if you know anything. Not a particular fan of either, but it's a nice book for 49 cents. Nice paperback. Retails 15. Let's get to the good book. Found this book at an estate sale. It was just in a fucking laundry basket for some reason. And I figured out why once I opened it up and looked at it. It has mold on the back, but I cleaned it off with alcohol, so it should be good. It had some, obviously, water damage to the jacket, but the jacket's rare enough that makes this book worth some money. And the weird part is it doesn't even smell bad. It smells pretty good for a book that's sullied. The sullied, bruv. Outer Method of the Oracles. The Tarot. The Doctrine Behind the Veil. I believe this is a 60s edition. 66. But, like I said, it has the jacket, acceptable jacket, and acceptable book. It does not stink. Devil's Night and Other True Tales of Detroit. Provocative anyone who wants to fathom the social calamity that is recent Detroit history and blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's this? Love finding stuff inside books. Let's see what this is. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. That's Corinthians, bro. Yeah, I've got about 7 copies of this in hardcover, but apparently none in softcover, so I picked it up. This book was written in Detroit when I lived where I lived during the last half of 1988 and 89. Earth, air, fire, and water. More techniques of natural magic. Scott Cunningham. Money wishing well spell. Coin of the realm, silver and gold, return to me 100-fold. Toss the coin into the well and continue. I call water to charge my spell. Now here within this magic well. Star magic. Starlight, star bright. We were at an elevation of nearly 5,000 feet in the Laguna Mountains. Sure you were, bruv. Sure you were. All right. 2 more books. UFO of God, The Extraordinary True Story of Chris Bledsoe, soon to be a major motion picture. I don't know if it ever became one. A spiritual journey of missing time, clouds of fire, healings, and transformation. What year is this? I wonder if this did become a movie. 2023, so it might not have yet. Didn't realize it was this soon. Move on. In the cold cab, I woke to the empty field. Junior was still sleeping, curled up on the back seat. Mist rolled across the brittle grass. Condensation from our breath fogged the corners of the windshields. Morning, why did my son and I sleep in this field? I knew the answer, and I didn't. My head flooded with the events for the day before. Pop from the 4 hours I was gone. That's when he was gone for 4 hours. All right, bro. I'm good. Do not be surprised if you, the reader, become one of them. Strap in for a wild ride. Right, last book. At the Existentialist Cafe, Freedom, Bean, and Apricot Cocktails with Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, etc., etc. Oh, there he is. Camus went on to spend much of his life in France, but he always felt an outsider there. Where was Camus from? Was he from France? I don't want to eat my manuscripts. I hope you don't, bruv. What's this? It's a baby. Heidegger's former sparring partner at Davos, Ernst Cassirer, did not wait for a warning. There he is. Is that Freud? Herschel? I think it's Herschel. What is this? Fucking Janis Joplin. Alright, I don't know. Yeah, it's Kierkegaard. I definitely know that. There he is, Soren. Soren Kierkegaard. So, what a horror. Existentialism. Alright, that's all. 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1 God. Amen. Right, bruv. What time is it? 10:30? 10 o'clock. What do you got, bruv? Bakewell. Bakewell Cafe. See if this book's worth anything. I think there's a pretty damn good haul today. If I'm not... yeah, it's worth about $8. including shipping, $4 or $5. All right, I did well for 50 cents. Oh, buddy, that's good. Goodbye.